Local programming on KRWG Public Media made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
This is KRWG Public Media, TV, radio, online. News that matters. Now, across the Mesilla Valley and the borderland, the stories that shape our community. From the KRWG Broadcast Center at New Mexico State University, this is Newsmakers.
Up front this week, in a 10-way race for mayor, Las Cruces voters re-elected Ken Miyagishima to a fourth term. Michael Hernandez spoke with the mayor to learn about his priorities for the next 4 years and asked residents what they think the city is doing well and where it can improve.
I'm running for re-election because I really love doing what I'm doing.
Ken Miyagishima knows how to win elections. In his career, the Las Cruces mayor has been in 14 races and won 11 of them. But the municipal race on November 5th worried Miyagishima slightly because he'd never won on that day. That didn't matter. In the city's first ranked choice election, Miyagishima won a fourth term, with Bill Matisse coming in second after all 9 elimination rounds. He said it reminded him of his first mayoral race against Matisse in 2007.
What does it mean to you to win a fourth term?
Well, you know, it's great. I really want to win, to be able to continue doing what I love doing, and that's helping the public, helping people, helping the citizens, and whatever issues that I might be able to do. Sometimes we're not 100% successful, but if we can make their lives a little bit better, that's really what it's all about. Sometimes I feel a little bit selfish, be candid with you, that I've been here for a while, but you know, I love it. I enjoy it, and you know, every day I get up and just love doing what I'm doing.
As for priorities, Miyagishima says he wants the city to be more active in providing mental health services and embrace opportunities to use renewable energy. Infrastructure is also on his agenda. Miyagishima says he thinks turning downtown into a tax increment development district has brought more people and businesses there. He wants to do the same for the El Paseo corridor.
Years ago, we received a $2 million grant from the federal government, so the planning is there. And if we could maybe look at doing a TID in the El Paseo corridor, connecting Main Street with the university, maybe having a trolley going back and forth every 30 minutes or so to really kind of enhance that area, and also allow the students at New Mexico State to visit downtown and have a little bit of fun there in the downtown area.
The open spaces.
Retiree Stephen Marcus moved to Las Cruces a year and a half ago. Marcus says he's impressed with the city's effort to revitalize downtown and develop open spaces, but he thinks it should offer more recreational programs for children.
I'm noticing a lot of kids, especially in my neighborhood, look a little bored, but they're trying to get out there and do as much as they can. I'm really impressed with Mearshite for a recreation area for adults and children. I think it could be expanded, and that would be a good thing. Also, the road work, I've noticed that what they should be doing is doing projects, finishing a project, and not putting another, simultaneously doing projects. So that would help a lot.
I think the efforts to concentrate development and to tip the appeal of the downtown mall is really important for the city, both economically and as a spirited place.
Joan Woodward is a retired environmental design professor from Cal Poly Pomona. Woodward says she supports enhancing parks and agrees developing El Paseo Road is vital for the city.
The El Paseo connection is critical to make the town and gown link with NMSU. And there have been quite a few previous planning efforts to strengthen that link. All of them are worth reinforcing. It's really an important one. And there's a second one, not mentioned in the mayor's priorities, which is looking at linking Mesilla with the university. And Department of Transportation is currently doing planning for strengthening that link. That one too is critical.
On the corner of Main Street and Las Cruces Avenue, Mary Wunderlich operates Mew & Company, a boutique selling handmade goods. Wunderlich set up shop downtown because of the location and the city's economic incentives. But after some negative experiences with people off the street, she'd like to see more police officers in the area.
I know it has been brought to their attention, so I'm hoping that that presence stays, because we've seen a big improvement in that. If people are coming into downtown, they can do all this work and revitalization and make it beautiful. But if people don't feel safe in downtown, whether it's founded or not, they won't come. They won't stay, and they won't be here in the evening either because they won't be comfortable. So I guess that's my big thing, is just making sure that the downtown stays really safe and people feel that it's really safe.
In addition to downtown, Miyagishima also has his eye on the East Mesa. He says he's excited to develop about 100 acres of city-owned land across from Mountain View Regional Medical Center. He says renting the commercial real estate would generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in annual revenue to fund city activities. The City Council welcomes 2 new members in 2020. Tessa Abeda-Stuvey and Joanna Bencomo won their respective races in Districts 2 and 4. Miyagishima, who comes from Japanese and Mexican descent, says the level of diversity and youth on the council is key to getting different perspectives.
Pretty incredible. 4 women, that's going to be the majority there. And then of course with Councilor Vasquez and Mayor Pro Tem Sorg and myself, I think we're going to have a great team as usual. It's almost like a basketball coach. I think the team's going to be great. They're going to bring a lot of ideas, a lot of energy. These are highly educated, motivated women, and they're looking forward to the many great things that they wish to accomplish there on the City Council.
For KRWG Public Media, I'm Michael Hernandez.
Now to Living Here, the people and places that make our community special. Coming up, we'll take you to the Border Patrol Museum. But first, a sport that is growing in popularity, so much so that Las Cruces will be building new courts for fans at a new East Mesa recreational complex. Living Here takes an in-depth look at pickleball.
The sport of pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the nation. Pickleball is played similar to badminton, ping pong, and tennis. Any ages can play, it's for all generations. Pickleball is played with a small paddle, bigger than a ping pong paddle. It also is played with a ball about the size of tennis, but it's a waffle ball with holes in it. So the rules of pickleball they're pretty extensive, but yet at the same time they're basic rules. We have a line that we serve from. Players cannot go into the non-volley zone unless the ball bounces first. You have to win by 2 points. So some of our games are just back and forth, back and forth.
I promote the game. I teach beginners and am just kind of a goodwill ambassador for pickleball. I got interested in playing pickleball when my dad died 4 years ago. I kind of went into a funk, and a friend of mine said, if you want some joy in your life, start learning how to play pickleball. So I did, and here I am today, and every time I get up on the medal podium, I go, thank you, Dad. Everybody just loves it. Once they start playing, they can't get enough of it. It's very fun. Pickleball right now is so exploding, and I see the future just getting bigger and bigger. And I would suggest that if Las Cruces wants to pull in tourism, that they get more pickleball courts so that we can have more sanctioned tournaments. In Las Cruces, there's Mearshite Recreation Center on Hadley. We also have 4 designated courts at Apodaca Park, and in Picacho Hills we have 8 courts with temporary nets. And then also at Sunny Acres RV Park there's a designated pickleball court. So the more you play, the better you get. I play 6 days a week. I don't play on Sundays.
Been playing pickleball about 2.5 years. game that's suitable for players of lots and lots of different ages. I'm 70 years old and still am very good and very active at pickleball. We really enjoy the game. Highly recommend it. We tried it and we were immediately addicted to it. Won a medal, and it was in the category of skill level 4.0, 70 plus, and my partner and I took gold medal. It's a partner's game. I'm very fortunate. My legs are very nice to me. They're good to me, and so I anticipate playing for many more years. We have quite a few players that are over 80 years old. So it's like I said, it's a game that even somebody that's up there in years usually can play and have fun at it. We can't quite compete with the 20-year-olds, but we still have fun.
They can call the Mearshite Recreation Center. We also have a pickleball Facebook page, Las Cruces Pickleball. There's an app that's called Places to Play, and you can download that from your app store. It's free. Plug in your city or state, and it tells you places all across the country to play. It's a social activity. People from all walks of life. You make friends from all around the country, from all across the globe. Pickle just makes people happy, you know, and so people are just making friends and enjoying the the camaraderie of just enjoying a sport that is just so healthy and active, and we're out there getting our cardio, and yeah, it's just really a cool sport. If anybody is ever interested in playing pickleball, please come and check it out. We're a welcoming organization. We have players that are so kind, and they would be glad to teach newbies how to play. We love this sport so much that we always want to share it with everybody else, and so please come out, and in the meantime look it up on YouTube and enjoy some good pickleball, and then I think you'll be addicted and want to come play, so we'd love to have you. Just want to play pickleball all day long if we could.
My name is David Ham. I'm the director of the Border Patrol Museum. The idea for the Border Patrol Museum started in 1978 when a group of retired Border Patrol officials formed the Fraternal Order of Retired Border Patrol Officers. In 1979, a group of them thought it would be a good idea to create a Border Patrol Museum. When the museum was created, the people that came up with the idea knew that the federal government wouldn't fund it. So they went to the state of Texas, became incorporated, and received their 501c3 designation. Finally, in 1985, the museum opened its doors in the basement of the Cortez building in downtown El Paso. We were there for about 5 years and then closed because of a dispute with the landlord. A new building area was found, and this building was built when we opened our doors in 1994. So we've been here since 1994. Well, I think one of the most unique things, it's the only one in the United States. We have aircraft that were flown by Border Patrol pilots. We have a Super Cub, we have an OH-6 helicopter, we have a pursuit vehicle, Pontiac Firebird, that was part of a pursuit program. You'll see a lot of statues and paintings that were done by Border Patrol agents. You'll see a good, concise history from when we started to where we are today. The museum is located on 4315 Trans Mountain Road in northeast El Paso. That's easy to get to. You can take the loop around, and we're located next to the El Paso Archaeological Museum. This museum operates on donations and corporate sponsorships. So if you would like to contribute to the museum, contact us and we'll tell you how you can do that. You can go on our website, nationalborderpatrolmuseum.com, if you have any questions. You can call us at 915-759-6060, and admission is free. I think the Border Patrol Museum is important because gives the people an idea of what the Border Patrol does and has done in the past. We were started in 1924. That was during Prohibition era, and honestly the biggest focus at that time was enforcing the Prohibition laws. It was also the bloodiest time in our history. We lost over 31 officers. During World War II, we patrolled the coasts. We served as guards at POW camps. Later on, during the 60s, we were involved in the integration of University of Mississippi. And then we were designated as air marshals in the United States, designated by then Attorney General Bobby Kennedy. I hope visitors learn that we have quite a unique history. This is our 95th year in existence, and during those 95 years, we've done a lot of things that people aren't aware of, that they can find out about here at this museum. And that's one of the goals here at the museum, is to educate them about what we've done in the past.
Members of Indivisible Las Cruces, a progressive voter advocacy group, are concerned about more than just elections. They tackle the big issues in our community, and they recently sat down with law enforcement officials to discuss local crime trends and how state laws and federal funding impacts agencies in Doña Ana County. In depth, here's Michael Hernandez.
There are more than 120 known gang groups in Doña Ana County, according to Las Cruces Deputy Police Chief Miguel Dominguez. He says some gangs have a handful of members while others have hundreds. Dominguez says the overwhelming majority of organized crime is drug-related.
Most of our property crime has a gang nexus or a drug nexus, and everybody's in on that pie. We're seeing that through our intel meetings. We hear things from the sheriff's department. We hear things from the Anthony, Sunland Park, our federal partners. They all are taking part in this organization that is the drug problem that is plaguing the community right now. That's what's going on.
What has been my exposure is the youth gangs.
Youth gangs and opioid overdoses are prevalent in Anthony, according to the city's police chief, Vanessa Lara.
We have a lot of overdoses in the city limits. I want to say within the past 3 months, we've administered 5 Narcans, which essentially saved 5 people's lives. So that's what we see. But we also have seen an increase in child abuse cases and a lot of domestic violence. So as it relates to drugs.
Drugs and gangs are not the only problems for these law enforcement officials. Doña Ana County Sheriff Kim Stewart says domestic violence is a, quote, significant problem in the county.
My people go out every shift, every 10 hours, and I will say that the majority, if not all, of their day is consumed by household violence of one form or another. It's either on a family member, on a child, even to the extent of animal abuse. So, and we don't respond on those, but I'm aware of them. So I don't know that this is an increasing problem in Doña Ana, but it's a significant problem. And I just don't think we can really, we have to remind ourselves of that's an enormous problem.
Stewart adds there's a need for a crisis triage center to deal with mental health emergencies.
It's time we look into why it hasn't been and get it open, and that in turn will bring in providers. We as a state and as a southern part of the state need providers. We need mental health assistance from psychologists and psychiatrists. I think if we open that, we're going to get a larger interest from those type of providers to want to assist us.
Las Cruces Deputy Police Chief Miguel Dominguez agrees that the triage center is an important need in the region.
It would be a huge plus to have that triage center here to assist us because it is taking a significant amount of time for our officers that are on the street. We're actually putting more officers designated to crisis intervention. We need it, but it would be nice to have a facility that would be able to treat folks that are in crisis.
At $49 million, public safety spending makes up just over half of the Las Cruces 2020 general fund budget. State and federal funding makes up about 2% of the police department's $28 million budget. The majority comes from gross receipts taxes, property taxes, and other fees and revenues. But Dominguez says preventing crime isn't just about the budget for law enforcement.
What we tell people, we get a lot of questions like this when people are moving into town. What areas of town do I avoid? Where do I not move? That kind of thing. And we tell them, you know, all of the city is safe. All of the city can be dangerous as well. Lock your doors, just to the sheriff's point. Be vigilant. Lock your doors. Know your neighbors. Report. You see suspicious activity, report it.
For KRWG Public Media, I'm Michael Hernandez.
A lot of people in Las Cruces don't know that there's a homeless shelter in town. I mean, they see Gospel Rescue Mission, but they don't know what that means. It actually means that we have a 100-bed homeless shelter right here in the middle of town. Part of my job as the shelter director, I deal with all the homeless people here. So consequently, I'm the bouncer too. So I have to hold people accountable for their actions. And my decisions affect people's lives, and it's a very big responsibility. We kind of build the place as a 3-day emergency shelter, and we will give anybody 3 days of emergency shelter, no questions asked, no responsibilities other than following the rules. However, after 3 days, it's possible to stay longer. If they're willing to enter into a contract with us and agree to do a small chore around here and to go to chapel in the evening, then they can stay as long as they need to and help get back on their feet. And I ended up here homeless, had alcohol problems, I've got mental illness issues, I have to take medication. There's a lot of different mistakes that I've made in life that are like my toolkit now that I can use to help other people.
Our mission is to meet the needs of the homeless through spiritual, physical, and emotional needs. Our funding comes strictly from volunteer sources. When I say that, there are no government funds that we receive because we're a 501c3 faith-based organization, so we don't take government funding, but we get it from individuals, from churches, from businesses, and from civic organizations. The acceptance of donations, we take any and everything, clothing, furniture, hygiene products year-round. They can even throw in some of the beanies for the cold weather, any kind of caps. Some people want to wear gloves, so that would be great. Any donations that are resellable go straight to our thrift store. After that, there are other donations that aren't quite to the same quality. We take those to our clothing store in the clothing room here at the Mission, and we pass them out as needed, free of charge. We try not to waste anything. There's a trailer that sits out back. It's currently almost full, and those goods are shipped to a third world country, and we are actually even given about 2 cents a pound for those items that are shipped out overseas. Of course, cash, checks, whatever, as far as monetary donations. Right now, we have available training for GED, training for resume writing. So we try to prepare them in every facet of their life for that time that they'll once again be out there on their own. The address for the website is lcgrm.org. Our phone number here at the Mission, 575-523-7727. Our physical address is 1050 West Amador, Las Cruces, New Mexico. Hours of operation, we never close. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Only downside is that I see some people that come and go, and you never like to see some of them leave. And others, They leave because they need to.
Nellie, congratulations on being named a top teen.
Thank you, it's such an honor.
Well, it is great to have you here. I want to start with a little about some of your school activities.
Well, I participate in MESA, NHS, which is a lot of science kind of areas because that's what I'm trying to focus on.
All right, and NHS is National Honor Society. I know as part of that and some other things, you're involved in giving back to the community. Tell me about that.
Well, NHS and MESA, we do a lot of like community service, which is like toss no mas, as well as canned food drives for this Thanksgiving season.
All right, wonderful. How about your plans for the future?
Well, for the future, of course, I want to graduate high school and at least be top 10% of my class. And with that, I'll be going on to finishing up my major in Spanish and my major in biology. As well as with that, I'll getting my PhD to become an optometrist.
An optometrist?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's our time for now. Join us this week on KRWG Radio. Every weekday, it's Morning Edition 5 to 9, Fresh Air at 11, followed by Here and Now noon to 2, and All Things Considered 4 to 7. KRWG News is always online at krwg.org, and we'd love to hear from you. Email us with your story ideas and video submissions. The address is feedback@nmsu.edu. For all of us at KRWG News, I'm Fred Martino. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Newsmakers.